powered by Football Flash, the brilliant new app. Hi and welcome along to AFTV. Time to preview the game Arsenal versus Sporting Lisbon. This preview is powered by Football Flash, the brilliant football app where you can get an update on your team. Of course, our team is Arsenal. Get along to the app. I use it for these shows. You can get information on Arsenal. It's like a real sort of news feed. So it's really, really good app to have. You can download it in the description right now. Get involved with that app. Now, Sporting Lisbon versus Arsenal. And we all know the game a couple of weeks ago. Arsenal went over to Portugal. We were out there and got a very good 1-0 win with Danny Welbeck scoring the winning goal on the night. And it was nothing more than Arsenal deserved. Arsenal dominated the game. They were the better team on the night. And there will be hopes that Arsenal will just be able to repeat that performance once again. Arsenal, if they win the game on Thursday, will be through to the next round of 32. And, we'll be able to more or less just relax for the other two games in this group. And that's very handy when you consider some of the games that we've got coming up in December. We've got games against Tottenham. We've got games against Manchester United. We've got lots and lots of games, as a matter of fact, in the month of December. So being able to play real weekend teams in those games and rest those players for weekend games will be vital. So I think Unai Emery will look at this game and say to himself, let's go out there, let's secure the 3 points and let's progress through to the next round. Then we don't have to worry too much about the Europa League until the new year when we get into the next rounds. Now, Sporting Lisbon, and in the first game, they were pretty cagey. They didn't really come to attack us. They were really, really defensive, put everybody behind the ball, literally parked the bus and just hope to sort of do us on the counter-attack. There are guys like Nani bombing on, but really and truly, they didn't really have much effect on Arsenal. I think in the second half of that game, they didn't even have a shot on target against Arsenal. And it was Arsenal who, after getting off to a slow start at the beginning of that game, went on to win it pretty easily, even though it was just 1-0. But we were doing all the attacking. Danny Welbeck had a goal disallowed, etc. And it was pretty comfortable for Arsenal in the end. Now, Sporting Lisbon, since that game, have sacked their manager. Their manager, Jose Pizarro, was sacked at the end of last week by Sporting Lisbon. And it will be Thiago Fernandes, the youth coach manager, who will be in charge for this game because they haven't yet appointed a new manager. They've also got lots and lots of injuries at the moment, and it's said that they may have to call up some academy players to play in this game. Now, they're handily placed in second place in this group. They've already beaten Vorskla. So, they're looking good. They've beaten Vorskla, they've beaten Karabakh. They're looking good in the group to get that second place. So it's going to be how brave are Sporting Lisbon going to be in this game? How much are they going to really try and go for the win? If they didn't go for the win in the first game, what makes you think they're going to go for win in this game? It could be, maybe, possibly with this guy coming in, the youth coach, maybe they might take a different approach to what the previous manager did and have a go. But who knows what they're going to do. They will have a good away support behind them. There's lots of Portuguese fans in London, so I expect them to get a good turnout of away support for Sporting Lisbon, so they will be fired up by that. But you would expect that Arsenal will get the job done. Arsenal will have way too much for them at the Emirates. And remember, Arsenal are still on this unbeaten run. Didn't lose to Liverpool at the weekend, put in a really, really good performance, and the confidence will be high with the Arsenal team playing in front of their home crowd at the Emirates. Now, what type of Arsenal team will we see on the day? Of course, I feel that after so many games in such a short space of time for Arsenal, high-intensity games that take a lot out of you, like Liverpool, and the fact that Arsenal have got a really tough game at the weekend against Wolverhampton Wanderers, I expect Arsenal to rest a lot of their key players for this game. You may see those players on the bench, because no doubt Unai Emery will want to win this game because, you know, as I said, that will be them progressing through to the next round. However, I do think he will rest a lot of players. Now, I put together my team, my starting 11 for the game. I'd love to hear from you guys and see if you agree with this, but let's take a little rundown of it. In goal, Petr Cech. Bernd Leno, I think, will get a rest after the weekend. Cech, remember, just coming back from fitness, from an injury, trying to get him fit, will start in goal. Going to the right back position, Stefan Lichtsteiner. He did all right in the last game. Sort of started off slowly, but grew into it. Also did okay in the Carabao Cup, scored as well. Expect him to be in there. Of course, Bellerin as well was just coming back off on an injury the other day. The centre-backs, the centre-half positions, I'd expect Rob Holding and Mustafi to keep their places there simply because there's nobody else. There's still no Koscielny. He's still injured. Socrates is touch and go because he's still got a bit of an injury as well. And, of course, Mavropanos is still out as well with an injury. So I expect those two to continue, Mustafi and Rob Holding. At left-back will be interesting. Now, will Unai Emery gamble with Sead Kolasinac, who came in for that game against Liverpool and did really well, coming back to fitness? Or will he maybe go and Maitland-Niles starting in that game? I think he might start with Maitland-Niles and maybe at half-time or maybe in the second half, once Maitland-Niles has sort of blown himself out, then bring Kolasinac on. But I wouldn't expect to see Kolasinac start because, again, Unai Emery's going to want him for the weekend's game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, which is more important than this game. Matteo Guendouzi should come back into reckoning after his suspension at the weekend. I'd expect him to start. There's no El Neni, I don't think. I think El Neni is still carrying an injury. So Lucas Torreira, I reckon, will start in there as well. I don't expect to see Granit Xhaka. He's played a hell of a lot of games recently, a lot of high-intensity games. So maybe Xhaka may be left out. It could even be that maybe it could be a Guendouzi-Ramsey sort of combination, but I don't know. That means that there's no real sort of defensive midfielder cover. So I would expect it to be Guendouzi and Torreira there. Just in front of them, Emile Smith-Rowe, who's done well since he's come in for these type of games. Scored a couple of goals as well so far this season. Scored in against Blackpool in the Carabao Cup. So his confidence is high. And this is a way to continue his development as well. So expect to see him in there. And then Henrik Mkhitaryan, I would expect to see playing on the right-hand side. I think Alex Iwobi may come in on the left-hand side. And then through the middle, the goal scorer from the last leg, Danny Welbeck, who's been playing really well. Looked sharp again when he came on at the weekend. I'd expect Danny Welbeck to start up front and continue his decent form that he's had so far this season. And then on the bench, we're playing at home. I reckon the manager might, have like Lacazette, Aubameyang, these sort of guys on there, just in case it doesn't really happen. He's got a bit of firepower to bring on to try and get this game won. And as I said, I think that Unai Emery will be looking to try and win this game, get the group done and dusted, and then for the last couple of games, which is Vorskla away and Karabag at home, he can just more or less just, don't have to field strong teams with that really, really hectic December programme ahead. So looking forward to the game. Don't forget to download the app. As I said, it's a Football Flash, brilliant app where you can get update on all things Arsenal, all football teams. So make sure you download that. The link is in the description. And looking forward to the game. Thursday night, 8 o'clock kickoff, not one of the early ones. 8 o'clock kickoff, Arsenal versus Sporting Lisbon.